mystery beneath the waves. Looks like straight out of Star Wars, right?
Yeah, the Millennium, the Falcon.
Yeah, Millennium Falcon. First detected in 2011 by the Ocean X diving team, it says. The strange formation lies nearly 300 feet below the surface of the Baltic Sea, and it's left both experts and enthusiasts scratching their heads ever since, you can read. Yeah, I believe so. It's crazy. It says, picture this, a massive disc shaped structure about 60 meters in diameter sitting quietly on the seabed. Its unusual shape and mysterious features have sparked a whirlwind of theories from ancient ruins to extraterrestrial artifacts. But what exactly is it? What could it be? What do you think?
It could be like the stone structures like you see in Japan. You're seeing those underwater structures in Japan that are just megalithic, almost kind of like step, but they almost have these weird shape where it's not like really a shape of a building, but just how it's carved. But
Oh,
again,
yeah.
it's yeah, it's very mysterious. For being on the bottom of the ocean, was there land at one point down there, and again, has there been missions to go down there and check it out and see what kind of material it is actually, if it's this rock or I don't know.
Yeah, Japan has some very cool megaliths and strange structures. It's crazy. There's another interesting picture I found that tries to explain a little bit what it could be.
Oh wow, there you
I
go.
found it on the internet. I have no source actually because someone posted it in a chat room, so I can give you a source, guys. But yeah, this tries to give us an explanation of what it could be. Corridors, stairs, some kind of
Maybe an
altar.
altar.
Yeah, yeah, altar for rituals and stuff. Maybe um, what are these corridors for? There's no. Oh, is there thickness of the object? 4 meters. Interesting. Well,
And
that's.
how deep is this water? Do you think at one time it could have been above the ocean? Or is it just like too far down into the water where it's just like no one has been down there ever because there's just been water there since the dawn of time?
So the article says 300 feet below the
Okay,
surface. Yeah, so
300 feet.
I'm not sure what is
That's
in
not
meters.
too crazy far.
Here it says 75 meters. So you can dive up there, no
Hmm.
problem. If it was some kind of altar place for where they held rituals and stuff, why the fuck is it down there?
Yeah. Or could be part of Atlantis?
I don't know, man. I had some uh, experts here because who's an expert, right? Um, talking about Atlantis, and they had good arguments, very good arguments. I love what they said, but do I believe it? I don't know, man. It could be that Atlantis was a thing. Some say Atlantis was very mysterious with humans that had special powers and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not sure about that, but yeah,
Or it could have been like a spaceship that was just floating on top of the ocean. And like it was like a big giant city UFO type mothership. Because it just kind of, again, it just disappeared. It could have just dropped into the ocean or just blasted off into the sky. Or didn't, was it Plato or was it Homer or who the hell was went to visit Atlantis and wrote about it? Again, like the guy who found Troy. Like he took the Homer's Iliad and took that literally instead of like he was getting laughed at by his colleagues. Like, dude, that's a myth, dude. That's like you're gonna follow some crazy poetry from this old dude. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And sure enough, he found it. And like even the treasures of Troy, he like decorated his wife with.
yeah,
Yeah. But again, what else could we like take literally from some of these ancient records, especially with Egypt? I mean, God, they were fucking writing on the walls about multiple gods helping them with these fucking buildings. And they're like, oh, that's myth. Okay, sure. That was writing it, carving it in stone wasn't important. I'm sure. And again, with a myth, I feel like for just one person to like mythonize when something like you two have too many other heads saying like no. We have not seen it. Like, we're not gonna believe you. Might have like a handful of people like, well, okay, well, I'll follow you because you said this, but like, no, it's just not gonna. Again, like there'd be more of an uprise, even with the slaves, about moving 30-ton boulders across the sands. To like, I was like, dude, you might as well kill me now, bro. I'm not gonna break my back with that shit. Or like, why can't all the slaves just gather up and say, no,
Yeah.
unless they had technology that make it really easy, where everybody wanted to actually help out build this goddamn pyramid. Even the women and children are they're fucking up. I don't know. It's very mysterious. And then again, like I just wish we'd take some of these stories literally. Maybe go did what the guy who found Troy did. Like I don't know. I think there's just more mysteries that need to be uncovered, and then there's under the sand, under the oceans, and under the dirt. We just gotta find it.
True.
Still,
The
yeah.
article also mentions Atlantis. It says, but then there are more exciting or let's say outlandish theories. For many UFO enthusiasts, the Baltic Sea anomaly is something far more extraordinary, perhaps even evidence of an alien spacecraft or an underwater Atlantis. The
Hmm.
disc-like shape, combined with straight lines and angular features seen in sonar images, has fueled comparisons to famous UFO incidents like Roswell. And as if that's not enough, divers who explored the area report strange equipment malfunctions. I heard that too, when
Hmm.
they got close to the anomaly, which only adds to the mystery. Yeah, I've heard that too. They dove down and did their magic with their equipment and stuff, and the whole shit shut down. So it didn't work anymore. So they couldn't
That's
do
pretty.
anything.
Again, since the dawn of time, I think ETs have been down in the bottom of the oceans, because there is even like the guy who discovered there's an underwater lake underneath the ocean where like there's you couldn't even like penetrate it with his submarine, so he just bounced off it like jello. And shit. Like he's like, what the fuck is underneath that, or what like could get you in there if it wasn't like an ET. I don't know. Very mysterious shit is still on the bottom of the oceans that we don't even know about. We only know like a 8% of the ocean, maybe 10%. Again, it's like a cup of water. Looking through a glass, I was like, oh,
I like the thought that this could be some kind of link to an ancient civilization, or yeah, a
yeah,
long lost forgotten artifact of a ancient civilization. I like to yeah, I like the thought of that. Not the ancient alien stuff, but yeah, a lost civilization, like the one who disappeared in Wisconsin that you told me
yeah,
about.
yeah,
Who
yeah.
knows, man? Maybe they had to leave because it's sunk, or a flood came, something like that, because it's clearly underwater.
Hmm.
They had to leave and leave it behind.
Their
Just
best bet has been using sonar,
yes.
uh, and just picking up it that way. And then a lot of this stuff is just being slowly sinking into the ground because obviously it's just a murky, muddy lake in general. And then when the first settlers came, it had these pyramids sticking out of the water, and they were asking the Native Americans what these were, and they're saying that they were the stone teepees of the ancient ones that they didn't even know much about in general because it was a lost culture. Even way back then, back in the 1600s, Um, yeah, really gnarly shit. It just yeah, you're right. Just there's just lost cultures, lost languages, lost because a lot of stuff was just, especially here in America, it was just all word of mouth, But especially the Native Americans, they kept a lot of stuff to themselves and didn't keep, didn't really give much knowledge to newcomers about anything. Yeah. But yeah, again, it's just mysterious shit. It just keeps popping off here. And we have the Skid Rocker Ranch too. Like that just one area too. It's just wild with energy. And why that area? Native Americans set something loose out there. you know. Um
Do you think there is something to the Skinwalker Ranch?
with this the Native American aspect. Yeah. That's not just maybe UFOs. Kind of like why I think Wisconsin here has its hot spots, and we have that Mount Dundee Mountain where UFOs hover and fly over for hundreds of years, where the Native Americans were calling it Spirit Hill, and just very weird phenomenon over this place. Again, and there's theories around the locals that there could be a pyramid on the under the ground of this mountain, but who knows? Like again, it's just all these theories. Why does Wisconsin have especially these certain towns that have a lot more UFO activity than others? But again, I think it's just in general, Wisconsin's just a beacon. And I think because we have the largest lake in the world here, Lake Michigan, you can see that motherfucker from space. So like, even if ET came in, and then just water in general, this to have bases on the bike, that's like an ocean. That shit's so deep too. It has some weird ass creatures in there, with like snake like. You've seen those like eel looking things where there's like a row of circle teeth that just like jaw, there's teeth within teeth and teeth, like just
Yeah.
they suck on other fish, like a parasite fish almost.
Mm.
They just kind of feed off other fish, but really ugly, weird looking things. And then we have Lake Michigan has its own Michigan's Triangle, where like this mysterious boats go missing, planes go missing, and people go missing. There's a bunch of stories about that where people just go swimming and then just gone. Like five, I think there's one case where five kids were just swimming in the lake and they all gone. It's not like there's underwater currents. It's not like the ocean, I
What
mean,
do you mean they were gone? They were swimming we were in the lake, or?
yeah, it's just part of this like Bermuda Triangle in Lake
But
Michigan.
maybe they just drowned.
All five of them at once. Boom, boom, boom.
Well,
They were all swimming. They know how to swim. It's not they just throw themselves in there. But no, again, like boats have gone missing, planes have gone missing flying over that certain area. I think people and boats and people have kind of veer away from this certain area of Lake Michigan.
here in Germany, I told you about the Untersberg, it's a mountain right on the border of Germany and Austria. And yeah, like I said, it's called the Untersberg, and he's
Mm-hmm.
famous for his time anomalies and mysterious shit that happens there. The story goes that there were I think three guys. It was in the 70s. Three guys visited the Untersberg, and they parked their car at the foot of the Untersberg and left their passports, everything in the car. And they went hiking, and then they went missing. Many days later, someone got a phone call from Alexandria in Egypt. And one of these guys was on the phone. He said, "Man, we're in fucking Alexandria. We don't know how we got here." So, and this was in the newspaper. I have the news article somewhere. I downloaded this old news article. I have it
Oh,
somewhere. I can
that's
find it right
gnarly, dude.
now. But man, and
Huh.
yeah, they look for them with choppers and shit, and they went out there and looking for them for days and days, and yeah, until this call came, and then they got shipped back from Alexandria, and like I said, they
Huh.
had passports. The passports were in the car. So
Whoa.
nobody knows how they got there. Maybe it was a hoax, and they planned it out and stuff like that to become famous or so. Who knows? But if not, that would be crazy because the Untersberg, like I said, is well known for its time anomalies, for portal stories. People say crazy stories about portals. I personally know a guy that writes book about the Untersberg, and he told me the story that he saw guys in military uniforms running around there, but it was military uniforms from way back then, man, from these
Uh,
wild times. You know what I'm talking about? This guy had a uniform on, a German uniform, and he was running around at the Untersberg. He tried to talk to
whoa.
this guy, but he couldn't talk to this guy. He's walking around in the woods, this guy, and at some point, this book author he told me that this guy disappeared suddenly. He just disappeared. He was
Whoa.
walking in the woods, and he was just gone. He followed him because he said something was strange about this guy, and he called him and tried to talk to him, but he wouldn't respond. And yeah, just was disappeared and was gone.
Right. That's super crazy.
Yeah. And another friend of mine, actually, he's on a hiking trip right now as we speak, at another interesting mountain, the Watzmann.
Hmm.
But he went to the Untersberg, I think, 2 years ago. I I tried to come with him, but I couldn't because of work. But he got there and he took a lot of wristwatches with him because he was well aware of these time anomalies and he had all these wristwatches with him. And he wanted to check if these stories about the anomalies were true. And at some point, he told me he had to call a friend in Germany because every single one of these wristwatches showed a different time. And
Whoa.
he got scared and he said, "Man, I didn't know time was right. I don't know if the time on my cell phone showed the right time or I don't know." And he
Wow.
called a friend and he said, "Yeah, it's I don't know, let's say 7 p.m." And then he said, "Oh, now I know. Now I know the time." So he was scared because these wristwatches they changed. Every single one changed to another
Wow.
time. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Just that, it kind of reminds, it makes me think too, like even during World War II, when like all these countries were, obviously just fighting each other, and these portals just happen to open up where, like you say, like during the fight, maybe some like Germans just happen to go into a portal where it's just the future of time. Like you just said, like there's a German soldier walking around confused, right? Like he just
Mhm.
lost. Uh, yeah, you think something like that could have happened back in the past for all these people around the world that are like in the jungles, in the woods of like places they've never been, or why would they have been there in the first place? Because they're there to protect the land, and what I'm saying, like just opening up weird portals or weird vortexes. Yeah, it makes you think, man. That's some shit. Because when I interviewed that woman from Iceland,
Yeah.
she was talking about there's thin layers of like interdimensional portals that they can just go through, and they interact with these other elves or hybrid humans or something that lives in this other dimension that they interact with. The government actually takes it fucking seriously. Like more than half the population of Iceland believes that these hidden people on the edge of Iceland are there, and they actually warn newcomers not to throw rocks on the island because you might hit some of these people in interdimensional and start beef. Again, they'll go out and they even attack you. They're known to even like kidnap people and tie them to trees and throw rocks at you and shit, like weird shit. Like, or they even like there's even love quarrels too with like some of these elves and humans that she even told me like the elves would actually take these people to their dimension and world that lives again, it's in the same realm of Iceland. It's just another, again, it's another frequency that we can't see. Again, it's in a different level of frequency where, again, too, when they're building roads, there's just so much. When they're building roads, like I guess the government has to go out to whatever special place, and I don't know if it's a letter or something where they just leave like, hey, we need to move this rock, but if we don't have your permission, we won't do it. But like some of these people, like the ones that don't believe, will start to do construction work and move rocks without the permission of the elves, and then they actually get their construction machinery broken, and some of them will get hurt and sick, and some of them might even die. Like some of there's tons of cases. I'm like, I was so blown away when this woman was telling me this shit. I was like, there's no way. Why? I'm surprised Ancient Aliens hasn't touched upon that one. That's just that's pretty cool.
You
I
know
don't
what?
know.
With all these theories going around right now, with all these different theories that are very interesting, I think everything could be true.
Yeah, why not? Shit.
Even stuff like that with these elves and I know it's
Dwarves.
strange, but dwarves and shit like that. Have you heard about this story? Could be an urban legend. Could really happen. Some say it really happened. I found tons of stories about that on the internet. That people say it really happened. I have no proof, but the story is called "The Man from Taured."
Hmm.
Taured. And it happened 1954, I think. July 1954, yeah, I remember. There was a man that arrived at the airport, the Tokyo airport, and they checked his passport and stuff. And he said he's coming from a land called Torret. They said, we don't know what Torret is. What's Torret? They gave him a map of the world, and he was confused. He said, Torret is not on this map here. He talked, I think he talked fluently French, and
Okay.
he even spoke some Japanese and a few other European languages. Yeah,
Wow.
and he said Torret is lies beneath France and Spain. He had a reservation for a hotel in Tokyo, actually, like
Huh.
an official paper and stuff like that.
Weird.
But the hotel itself, they said no, we didn't make that. We don't know who made it. It's so the officials, they were clueless, and they said, let's detain him for a while and let's check upon all these things. He had no weapons or stuff like that, so and he was very convinced that he's really from Torrid. So I'm from Torrid, man. I don't know, man. I'm from Torrid. I don't know what's happening here. And so they put him in a hotel room. They put some policeman in front of the door and stuff, and in front of the hotel, so couldn't he couldn't take off. So next day they wanted to bring him in for questioning and stuff like that, and he was gone. Long story short,
Oh,
he was gone. He was gone, and he never came back. He was never found again. He didn't appear on the airport because if he would try to get on a plane and go back
sure,
to
sure. You can't.
Torrent
No,
or go
right?
back wherever, they would have to check his passport and stuff. So they would have catch him again. So yeah, he disappeared. He was
Wow.
never found again.
So again, this could be like another interdimensional
Yeah,
thing where he interacts with both.
a parallel universe.
And yeah, exactly. Or like it's a few different things in that parallel universe. But yeah, again, he knows how to speak French and Japanese. So he
Yes.
has to be here on Earth. But again, he says that even like his land should be between France and Spain, right?
Hmm.
That's really weird. It makes it sound like almost like a again, seeing at a certain frequency, it's where you can find like where we have like these hidden continents. Maybe they're just interdimensionally
Yes.
there. You know what I'm saying? Because like he's like there's a big ass country called I'm sorry, what is it called again? Where is
Torrid.
he from? Torret.
Torrid.
Torret. Yeah. Again, like that. That's really eerie. Oh, that's cool, man. It's kind of like Doctor Strange-ish type thinking. you know, quantum. Wow, that's cool, man. That's trippy, right? That's
Yes.
hella crazy, especially the people who interacted with that guy. And it may do you think he might have had an ID that said like his town and Torret on it? Like they even say, "Whoa, what the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
or his passport or something like that.
They checked his passport and it said Torrid.
Mm.
It was the official
Whoa,
document. His passport was the official document with everything on it that
and it's
happened.
legit. But
Yeah, it
this
was legit.
the name itself is just so wacky.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
And they said it was a used passport, so
Oh,
was already
oh, like marked, like
yeah,
stamped and shit.
it was stamped already. He traveled obviously he traveled a lot. Maybe some parallel universe shit or time traveler or something like that. That was crazy. It was a crazy story. It was a very interesting story. And there's another story from the 12th century. It's called The Green Children of Woolpit. You
Yes, I think I heard
heard
of
about
this.
that?
Yeah, yeah. Tell
Yeah.
more. Tell more. Yeah.
Um, One day they were harvesting their food and stuff. Um, they've some guys from a village. They found a boy and a girl. It looked like they came out of a pit. Their skin was green, and that didn't look like it was painted or something. It was like
Like the tint of
yeah,
green.
like if it was
Right.
naturally green. So it was
Right.
strange. And they had some strange clothes on, I remember. So the story
Hmm.
goes, they had some strange clothes on, and they spoke a very strange language. nobody understood this language. So they took them in and they took them with them. And these kids obviously were confused and stuff. They brought them home and they teach them their language actually over a course of a few months or so. And
Hmm. Didn't
they
it like
only
I think
they only sorry they only ate. I remember now. I remember they only ate raw beans. But over the course of a few weeks, they accepted other food too. So yeah, their skin changed to a normal color
yes, after a while.
after a while. So yeah, the
And I
green.
think the boy actually died at a young age too.
I don't know.
Like a sickness or something like that. I heard.
Yeah, I don't, I can't remember the story. It was long ago. These children told these guys they come from a land that's called Saint Martin's Land or so.
Oh, well.
Shouldn't say Saint Martin's Land. Yeah, they said there was no sunshine in this land.
Oh yeah. Oh
Was
yeah.
just some kind of dim light,
The
and
Hollow Earth.
maybe yeah, Hollow Earth man. And they told these guys one day they had some cattle or stuff, and that they had to take care of, and they went into some kind of cave. Suddenly they were there where these guys found them. So
Wow.
maybe also some kind of portal shit or stuff was
Yeah.
going on. Crazy
That's pretty
story.
wild, dude. And especially having records and documents of these two children too. It's not just like a story told by a like a fairy tale story, you know.
Yeah.
Again, it's where was this, England again? Where was this exactly again?
Oof. Woolpit. Yeah, it's. I think it's England. Woolpit is
Yeah.
England. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, England has their treasure troves of crop circles and UFOs throughout the histories of being there. Um, yeah, wild shit, man.
Sometimes scientists that heard this story said the green tone of the skin could be because they had some kind of lack of vitamins like iron and stuff like that. So
Sure.
maybe it was
It's, ki-
from
it's
that.
like when you have kidney disease, your
Yeah,
skin turns yellow.
yellow.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And your eyes too.
but I like the idea that it was some kind of parallel world, of course.
Yeah, me too.
Worlds or inner Earth, man. It's a crazy inner Earth. It's a crazy topic. I don't
That
know
is,
if
it's
I believe
amazing.
in the esoteric idea of the inner Earth. Like you going through a
Sure,
portal
sure,
and suddenly you're there with and there's a artificial sun and all that stuff and like I had this guy on my German podcast and he told us about saber tooth cats
sure.
that only eat vegetables, the vegetarians and talked about dinosaurs and stuff.
Yeah.
I it was a message of peace and love that he told me. I mean, it was a great story, cool story. I'd love to listen to it, but
It's on the realms of, the flat earth. And even that, like that has to be created by something like an extraterrestrial race to build something like a zoo type thing. And like the hollow earth is kind of the same thing. It had to be like manufactured by extraterrestrials that haven't made like that. Cause this doesn't happen in um I don't know, in nature. We haven't at least we haven't found a planet that has a hollow earth or a hollow planet or a hollow moon, even though there's a theory about the moon being hollow when they were dropping shit on it back in the day and having it ring like a bell for a few hours. But who knows? That's just some more mysterious shit about the moon and how it might have been towed in because there's been ancient cultures talking about it. It wasn't there one day and it was there the next. It's kind of it's this weird shit. And again, where it's placed in our orbit. Actually, I have a book. Let me pull it out quick. Ugh. I think it's Who Built the Moon. It has all these theories and like mathematical properties of like how the moon just can just be created by naturally, just like how an asteroid hit the Earth and all the cosmic dust and rocks kind of got together and just started making itself, and especially and it had it land exactly where in orbit where it covered the sun perfectly. That's a zillion to one, my friend. that shit was gonna happen naturally. No, hell no. Get the fuck out of here. Especially when you have ancient cultures talking about it wasn't there one day and it came the next, and especially where it is sitting in orbit has awesome properties to what happens on Earth, like the ocean tides, what shit's growing here, animals use it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
just there's just so much different properties to the moon and why we use it. I can't find the book. I'm just drawer is stuck right now. But yeah, it's endless. It's just yeah, it does it makes me it pisses me off kind of when the people just can't really open their mind to the possibility of like extraterrestrial races traveling the stars billions and billions of years of, long ago, seeding the planets, seeding themselves. That's why, again, we probably look exactly like our creators. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have a lot of these ET interactions where these are blue-eyed, blonde-haired, uh, Nordic like ETs, almost kind of like the elves. Like even when I was talking with that woman from Iceland, she said like Lord of the Rings did a great depiction of how the elves are in Iceland. Like they're very clean cut. They kind of almost float while they're walking. You know what I'm saying? Uh, it's just kind of cool to hear her, um, how her take on what the elves actually look like and how she was when she was growing up and how her culture uh, really believes in these elves and they respect them enough to ask permission to move certain rocks because a lot of these rocks are sacred to these things. Maybe this could be like a doorway to the portal, and if you're moving that, the portal is gone, the door is gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows? Like, what the fuck? I don't know. It's really wild, especially when I found out more than half the population believes. It just kind of like, wow,
Oh yeah.
it's really kind of cool. I don't know.
It's kind of cool. I love that these people believe in that stuff and they hold up to their traditions. I think that's great. I really do think that's great. And maybe there is something to it because all of these guys really do believe in that. That's so crazy, man. And we have stories about dwarves and elves all around the world, man. You can find it all
Yeah,
around the world in
yeah, you're rich. Yeah, Germany's rich for that.
yeah, of
And
course.
then,
We
and
have these underground systems, these earth stalls, like they call it, your Erdstelle in German.
mm,
We have they're everywhere, man. Underground tunnels. They recently found another underground tunnel. And nobody knows who built them and why they were built, and they're everywhere in Germany, in Austria, everywhere, man. That's crazy.
mm. You want to tell us recently what you discovered in Germany? Just some new tunnels and
No, it's not.
case case systems, or
I didn't say I discovered it.
okay,
I found this
sorry,
article where it says there
you did.
was uh, they found recently found a new one, a new
Okay.
underground tunnel system, and yeah, they found more and more of these underground tunnels, and you ask yourself why they're here. Who built? Nobody knows who built them and for what purpose, because they don't seem to make sense. It doesn't make sense that people went down there to protect themselves from possible attackers or so. Doesn't make sense. From what else would you hide? From some kind of flood? Makes no sense to go down on deep down under the earth into the earth. I don't know, man. But speaking about the moon, because you mentioned the moon and the hollow
Mhm.
moon, they recently found a cave on the moon.
Oh shit.
I think can you see it already? I think this is an actual
Oh wow, look at
yeah.
that.
Yeah. It's crazy, right? I think that's an actual picture, I think. Yeah, that's the actual picture. Uh,
Wow.
Let me see.
Damn, 200 feet deep.
Yeah, the discovery
And it
of
looks like it had craters inside it too. Didn't you see that?
yes,
Wow, look at that fucker. No. Dude, that's scary shit right there.
it is,
That
man. And if there's one, I think there's more.
and look how perfect that circle looks too. I'm
Almost a little
sorry,
bit
but
too
what
perfect,
kind
right?
of perfect rock that just shot right down through that thing?
Yeah, but I don't think it was a. Do you
Oh
think?
God.
Oh, do you think it was an impact? I don't think it was an impact. I
No, no, it's too clean, dude.
Maybe from
That
eruption
is
or something.
cool. And this is actually a legit website too, man. This is crazy.
No, it's these are facts as if they found the
Oh, that's great.
yeah.
Wow.
It was all over
What?
the internet and all over the news in Germany here. So
Wow. That's so cool. What a great shot.
so do they say about the size? Is it something about the size here? I don't know. Uh, hmm, no. Temperatures inside the lunar caves are believed to be relatively stable at about 63 degrees, according to an American Geophysical Union report. Hmm.
Wow.
So they think they can build
Use it
something
as a
there
base.
for the astronaut. Yeah, it's like a base for the astronauts. That would be cool.
He's like, what made this?
Yeah,
Weird.
100 of lunar pits have been discovered. I think, yeah. Hmm. Depict this picture, man.
And and they found monoliths on the moon of Mars too. Both those
Yeah,
moons have monoliths on them,
yeah.
like dome shape, and the other one looks like a obelisk. Yeah, really crazy.
The moon conspiracy is still a thing, right? I've heard people here in Germany at work. I have heard people talk about it. One said, "We've never been to the moon. I do not believe we've been to the moon." I don't know, man. I do believe we've been there, but I'm not sure if we have been there when they aired it. That they've allegedly been there. I'm not
Sure.
sure if we've been there at that point in time. Maybe we've been there without TV and all that shit because the actual moon landing that all this footage that we see and the pictures, come on, man. One has to admit that it looks fishy indeed. It looks fishy.
It does because who's setting up the camera outside this goddamn thing while he's walking down?
I've
Did he go down there first and then set up the camera and then walked up the goddamn ladder again and went down again and said, "Oh, my first landing," No, like what the fuck?
But they say
Uh-uh.
these landing legs, I don't know what they are called. They had
Well,
these
they're
camera
very
mounted.
clear cameras to tell you the truth, to be some leg cameras. And then sometimes when you see even the thing blast off the fucking moon, they see the camera just tracks it up. I don't know, man. It's just, did they have the technology to do that? I mean, I don't know.
Everything about it is fishy.
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, I think again, I think they went to the moon, and I believe that they did fake it at the same time, just because the Russians were right behind them. So if they just, especially if the Russians were just about to announce they were, oh, we're going to the moon tomorrow, they're like, well, the U.S. like, well, at least we have a fake video to show them that, hey, we just did it yesterday. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like, that was the only reason when we did it fake. That's why we faked it. That's why there's a bash of heads. Um, you know, that's my personal belief.
But why haven't we been there since?
Again, I think there's some shit that's there. Maybe there's just a bunch of crash vehicles and other
Like what? Like
other ruins. Because I think when the guys first landed on the moon, when they got back in the press conference, they were very solemn. It's not like you think someone who'd been on the moon would be like, "Man, that was this shit, man. You won't believe what the fuck I just saw." They're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." You know what I'm saying? It was like, what? Come on, man. Like, it was such a weird, I don't know. They looked like they were just worried. Like they saw some shit. We're like, okay.
so do you mean they could have been there but were told to shut
Yeah,
up?
yeah, of course. Like, why, especially when the government is telling you have to shut your mouth about something that's super important to the human race, you know? It's a lot to bear, and it's funny. Like, there's in like some the skeptics who go and try to find these old astronauts and like put your hand on the Bible and then tell us the truth about if you landed on there or not. And some of them, throw them fists and shit. Like, um, yeah, I don't know. It's
But do you think they have been there and already
Yeah, I believe.
knew what is on there, so and they went up there for that
Yeah,
reason, or they
I think
found it?
and another thing too was, did NASA was going to risk these guys' lives on going into landing on the moon, knowing that Earth collects cosmic dust, thousands of tons of it a year. And I can only imagine being the moon being up there for billions of years with no wind or atmosphere to blow that fucking cosmic dust around. That cosmic dust is just stacking up on itself. You know what I'm saying? So you think those guys would be landing in like 80 feet of space dust or some shit? You know what I'm saying? Like getting swallowed up, not knowing if. But when they did land, it was only like what, 2 inches of space dust? I was like, it makes it sound like the moon just got there the other day. I don't know.